Hi, welcome to Downtown Speaker Rotary. I'm Mark DeGroff, your president for this year. Please recite with me the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Today for our Rotary Minute and guest introductions, we've got Donna Ross on the podium, and while she's on her way up, our June featured charity is Sound the Alarm. The Kansas, Nebraska chapter of the American Red Cross held the Sound the Alarm event in Topeka on April 27th. Volunteers canvassed neighborhoods and inspected or installed fire alarms. The neighborhoods are primarily in East and North Topeka. So your cut money goes to those. And please keep in mind, if you know anybody who is part of an organization that would benefit from cut money, let them know that the Rotary Foundation is looking for more applicants for cut money for this year as well. Donna.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to introduce two guests today, and the first guest I'm going to introduce, she's here with David Back, and it's really special to have her because I've known her since I moved here from Ukraine, so 13 years, and I've seen her growing up. And it's amazing to announce Isabel Fritz. She's an outbound exchange student going to Austria for next school year. Hi, Isabel. And second guest, Jay Baffert, and it is Shelley Woodard, and she is with Kansas Department of Revenue as an attorney. Hi, I don't know how this worked, but Linda scheduled me to do a Rotary Minute today. And today is my birthday, as well as 2 years ago, Rayhan Riza invited me to Rotary as his guest. So, and the 2 years been an amazing experience. And I appreciate and wanted to share what it means, just ask. People that around you, when they see your passion for Rotary, and when they ask you what you do, invite them, welcome them. And also, it's not just about asking, but it's about each of you here in the club welcoming them. Because there's so many people that came alongside of me and supported me in leadership, profession, and just friendship. And I appreciate each one of you. And also, I wanted to share, many of you probably received the magazine this week. It's called The Rotarian. And Rotarian, what really means to be a Rotarian? On page 10 it says, Rotarian Code of Conduct. The following code of conduct has been adopted for use of Rotarians. As a Rotarian, I will act with integrity and high ethical standards in my personal and professional life, deal fairly with others and treat them as their occupations with respect, use my professional skills through Rotary to mentor young people, help those with special needs, and improve people's quality of life in my community and in the world. Avoid behavior that reflects adversity on Rotary and other Rotarians. And each of, looking around, I can see each of you making a huge impact in the Topeka community and also around the world through polio and exchange student program and in so many other ways. So let's give all of us rounds of applause.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
24. Izzy, if you want to come on up to the podium, we're going to give her a chance to chat about her trip and interview her real quickly here. While she's on her way up, are there any Friend X announcements to share?
I got a Friend X for my anniversary.
Okay, awesome. Wayne?
I'd like to thank my Friend X for my anniversary gift as well.
Fantastic. Any other Friend X's? Thank you for sharing. Well, Lizzie, you're headed off to Austria.
Yes.
Yes. We should probably do this way.
Okay.
So you're already in, you already passed the test and the interview and everything, so no pressure. There's just more of us here than there were at the interview. So you're headed off to Austria,
Yes.
and we know your family well, not only Jana, but your older brother was a foreign exchange student to Spain, right?
Yes. Yes.
What are you most excited about?
I will get to see a new country and see how different people live, and that's what I'm most excited for.
Awesome. And is this your junior year or senior year that you're going to be abroad?
I will be missing my senior year.
Senior year of high school. So you're really committed.
Yes.
What are your plans? What's the first thing you want to do after you kind of get there and settle in?
Probably go hiking in the mountains.
That, I'm jealous. Can I Sherpa your bags over there? Awesome. Awesome. Well, we have for you 2 banners and to take with you and share with local Rotary clubs over there, and would also be able to provide any more that you might want as well. So best of luck on your trip. We'll be praying for you and hoping for regular updates on how things are going. And just the 2 words or the 2 phrases that I heard every time I left the house when I was in high school were have fun and be careful. So go have fun and be careful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is that all you heard, Mom?
Generally. Pop-up service announcements. We have an opportunity this Saturday, June 22nd from 1 to 3. It's the north side of the police headquarters building at 3rd and Kansas. We'll be painting murals. You are welcome to bring your children or grandchildren and also come on down. Bring sunscreen, a hat, and a lawn chair. Only, I think, either 10 or 20 people at a time can paint, maybe 20. The club is buying lunch for the professional artists who are supervising that. And so you do need to be coachable, and you do need to paint inside the lines as they instruct you. And family and friends are welcome, and there will be a social following that at the Iron Rail. So the club is paying for appetizers after that. Come on out and have fun. The Topeka Rotary Foundation is accepting applications for club money or cup money for this next year, so we announced that earlier, but please mention that. And Stefania, would you come up, please? Stefania is a little hard to catch up with, and we did today, and her sponsor, Jan Ross, is also here. So Stefania, we would like to award you your red badge. Welcome to the club, and thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Stefania is a dentist and owner of Enchanted Smile, and is again sponsored by Jan Ross. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Veronica Teitgraber, who will introduce our speaker today and our program. You're in for a great one. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to introduce Dene, Mosier, CEO of the Topeka Children's Discovery Center. There's so much I could say just from having met her one time, but that would take up her time to talk to everybody. So without further ado, here she is.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am so excited to be here today to talk to you about the Kansas Children's Discovery Center. How many of you have been inside of the Discovery Center? Fantastic, most of you. Well, I'm really lucky. I probably have the most fun job in the city. I see happy children and their families each and every day. Let's see if we can get this to wake up. There we go. Last week, or just over a week ago, the Discovery Center celebrated our 8th birthday. That's probably the thing that surprises people the most when I say that we have been around for 8 years. I have been at the Discovery Center 4 of those years. We have seen well over 500,000 visitors. Last year we saw over 10,000 children on field trips. So we have a lot of fun and a lot of learning going on. One of the more interesting things that we have done over the course of the last year is we have launched a mobile museum. And that allows us to bring the Discovery Center out to you. So here locally, on First Fridays, it's in Brookwood Shopping Center. And so that's an opportunity for families to experience some of the things that we have at the Discovery Center for free out in the community. But even more exciting, it means we can take this across the state. Yesterday, the mobile museum was in Fort Riley. Families came in, they spent the morning together, learning and having fun. In 2 weeks, it's headed out to Dodge City. People are learning about what we have to offer, and they want to bring it to them. This over at the Washburn Alumni Center. We did a family event for them, and so it just gives you a peek of many of the most popular exhibits inside of the Discovery Center can be taken out and put into gymnasiums, events. So you see there's wind tubes, the Imagination Playground. We even have a real build station. Just like in the Discovery Center, there are hammers, nails, saws. Kids can make a creation that's only limited by their imagination. We have a little cafe that travels, light tables, the veterinarian's clinic. So many of the most popular things inside of the museum are now traveling outside of the museum. When I was hired to come to the Discovery Center, the charge that I was given by the board of directors was that the Discovery Center needed to be accessible to every child. And that's why I took the job, because that spoke to my heart. And so the first question I started asking the staff the first week I was there is, who aren't we serving? And why aren't we serving them? And there were a lot of great programs already in place. And over the last few years, we've created more, and we've tried to break down those barriers. Museums for All is a program that we were the first cultural institution in the Midwest to adopt that says if a family has state benefits, they can't pay with those benefits, but that's how we can make that identification, and they can come in for less than half price. So admission is $7.75 to the Discovery Center. They and their family can come in for $3, and all they need to do is show us their state benefit card. This year we expanded that to the WIC program, so if a family is receiving WIC benefits, they also have that. If a family lives in Shawnee County, our friends at the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library have made it possible for them to come free of charge. There are 8 family passes that can be checked out, and the library makes it possible for those families to come over, so all they have to do is have a library card. Those financial barriers are being broken down. Tonight is one of the nights. Every month we have a free family night. We invite the entire community, come in, bring your friends. They are very popular. It's very exciting. We are kind of at the point where we're clicking them in and out to be sure that we're under capacity because it's so popular. We also offer memberships through our social service partners. So through the rescue mission, through TARP, they identify families who could benefit the most from having a membership. Those are normally $99. We find sponsors to subsidize part of that, and families only pay $15. And then they can come an unlimited number of times throughout the course of the year. After I had been at the Discovery Center about a year, I was asking the same question, and one of our staff members, when I said, who aren't we serving, said, this is my next door neighbor. And I was like, what? And she said, she can't come. And I asked why, and she told me, because that little girl, her name is Rachel, was battling leukemia. And she couldn't be around crowds, and she couldn't be at the Discovery Center when there were other children. So we thought about it, and we're not open to the public on Mondays, but we're all still there. And we visited with her mom and asked what would it take for her to be able to come. We normally clean the center every day with vinegar and water at the end of the day. And we said, what if we use Clorox? And she said, okay. So we did. And Rachel came. And she had an incredible day that was just about being a little girl with her family and having fun. And so for a little while, their family wasn't consumed with that burden. And Rachel is not with us anymore. But her mom is really proud of the fact that she inspired this program that is serving many children. We have now been working with Children's Mercy. They are referring families really from all over the region. We just hosted an event with Hope Kids out of Kansas City, and they work with children who have rare, life-threatening illnesses. The referrals are really exceeding what we could have imagined. I have a little clip of one of the families who we have been serving really since the beginning. They were part of our pilot, and you can kind of hear in their words.
Ron's a special baby, and it's wonderful to know that Voice is out there for babies like her, gives them a chance to get out and explore.
She's been in and out of hospital 16 times since she's been born, and she's 16 months. So getting her out to Bonkers or even Kansas Children's Discovery Center where you have 1 million kids and people and all the germs is just not feasible for us. I think it's important for Anna because I don't want her to feel like all there is hospitals and doctor's offices. I want her to learn there's another world out there besides that she can go have fun and play. She's not going to get shots, no temperature taking, no blood pressure, or no nothing. She can actually have fun and be herself. It means a lot. If we weren't able to come here, we would be pretty much stuck at home 24/7 besides work and her going to my uncle's for daycare.
The best part of Mental Voyage is being able to have somewhere to go that's safe and secure. It's awesome to be able to hear and her toys and have family come and interact with children who are close to her age. It's wonderful. That's a blessing.
And she still comes and actually learns to walk in our grow area as she moved from one station to the other. The program has continued to grow, and it's really directed by the families. They actually named the program. We said, what's the most meaningful to you? What's the most respectful? And then they told us, but we want our kids to have the birthday parties other kids are having. And a handful of generous donors allow me to call them when one of the families request, and we're able to give them the full facility so that their children can have those same celebrations. The next program is a program that we're on our 2nd year. So as a community, we have a community-wide goal to have every child ready for kindergarten by age 5. And we recognized that families were coming to us consistently asking for support. And so we decided we would highlight all of the wonderful things that are already happening in this community and bring together the work that's already being done. All of the Topeka school districts, all of those superintendents got on board and said, we're in, we'll share our teachers with you, we want to be a part of this. And so we launched Camp Kindergarten last summer. It's a free program to any child who is entering kindergarten. Each of the districts provide teachers on Saturday mornings, and they come in for a simulated kindergarten experience. They have 2 hours, there's a classroom, they participate in a circle time, and while the children are participating in the circle time with real kindergarten teachers, their parents are in the back hearing from another teacher why these things are important. What we learned is many, many families thought that what they needed to do to get ready for kindergarten was tie their shoe, go through flashcards, and no one was talking about social and emotional development. No one was talking about delayed gratification and following multi-step instructions and what's going to be expected when you're in the classroom. And so who better to design that than the teachers who are going to have those students later. Kansas Ballet comes in and they do a music and movement activity with the families. And then many of our community partners come. So different ones every week participate. Those who are already working in early childhood education, so Child Care Aware, the library, those folks are over here helping us put this on. So that happens every Saturday in June. Then in July, the last Sunday before everybody else's programs get started, we have a day that we close the Discovery Center to the public and we only welcome families who have children that are entering kindergarten. We have community partners come in and showcase what's available. So they learn about after-school programs, they learn about mentor programs, they learn what do they need to do, their vision and dental screenings. We're putting the resources all in one place because so many people are already doing the work. We just wanted to lift that up. We had the place, we had the people, and we wanted to bring those experts together without duplicating any services. The Shawnee County Public Library was able to give books to each of the children, so it was kindergarten, here I come. So that was another opportunity for families to extend that learning at home. They're taking the resources, and then they can start having those conversations and deal with some of the anxiety that comes with that transition into school. And the last program that I'm going to talk about is one that stemmed from the same question of who aren't we serving. And this one was a little unusual when we got there. It was children whose parents are incarcerated. There's a program in New York City with the Children's Museum of Manhattan and Rikers Island Jail. And they were working with incarcerated mothers. And I read about it, and I went to a conference, and I might have chased a lady kind of to the corner and said, you have to tell me more. And she was really patient with me, and I came back and I called the warden here at the Topeka Correctional Facility, which, if you do not know, is the only women's prison in the state of Kansas. So any woman incarcerated in prison, not jail, in the state of Kansas is right here in Topeka. There are 11 men's facilities. And I visited with her. They were already doing great progressive work. They had programs in place that allow these women to continue parenting their children, because most of them are going to return to the community. And their children have an extraordinary number of barriers against them. When we talk about ACEs or adverse childhood experiences, these children already have 2 checked right off because their parent is incarcerated and they're living with someone else. And so we talked about what this would look like and how we could do it. And there was a lot of work on the front end to get all of the logistics and all of those pieces together. And last fall, we launched our first pilot. The program runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the reason we do that for the entire day is we have children coming from Garden City. We have children coming from Oklahoma. We have them coming from St. Joseph, Missouri, because they've gone to live with whoever can take care of them while their mother's incarcerated here because it's the only place. We have to make it worthwhile to come all the way here. They come in. It's a day that we're closed to the public. And the first day, we did a lot of preparation and training with our team. Because we're not psychologists. We talked about, what does that feel like for us? What does it look like? We prepared a lot for the angst at the end of the day, that separation. What might that be like? What we didn't anticipate was what we saw at the very beginning. I stood with the warden at the front door. All of the women are inside first. The children do not see them come out of the corrections vehicle. They are inside well in advance. We prep them for the day. And I stood there with her, and a grandma pulled up, and she walked around, and she got this little guy out. He's about 4 years old. And when she opened the door, the warden nodded to the mother, and she came to the door, and that little guy ran as fast as he could, and he climbed up her, and he kissed every bit of her, and kept saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I was bawling. I had to excuse myself. We witnessed raw joy, like nothing I've ever seen. And you know what, at the end of the day, it is really a lot of sadness, and it's really hard. But the joy is incredible. They come in. They transition naturally, really, whatever works for that family. So some of the caregivers might stay half an hour because the kids haven't seen their parents, and it's hard to get dumped off. And others are like, I'm here, you go. But the caregivers do not stay. The children stay. We have breakfast. Then we have activities for them. We often will put out big pieces of butcher paper so they can trace their arms and send the hug back with the kids. So they've traced mom's arms and they color it together, and they get to take that home with them at the end of the day. The warden made a big exception. I did not know it was such an exception at the time that we had this discussion, but I said, we're going to have a photographer, and we're going to get pictures of the kids with their moms, and then everybody can take one back. If there's 3 kids, we'll have 4 copies. And when I told the women that we were going to do that and they could take the pictures back, they were tearful because it's really a big deal that they get to take those back. So we have photos, they have lunch together, and again, those meals are, when we get together with our families, we commune around food. And so we wanted to give them that opportunity, and it also gives them an opportunity to do the parenting at that moment. They can help the child decide what they're going to eat, they can talk about manners, they can talk about those things. And the biggest difference than when they have a visit in the facility is they're there without the caregiver. So if that child lives with grandma, when they come to the prison for a visit, grandma sits right there. She has to. When they're on the phone, grandma's right there. There's not a chance for that child to say to mom, you know, I really don't like it when this happens, or I really wish I could do this. And it gives them an opportunity to have some of that dialogue. We have, again, activities throughout the day, and then at 3 o'clock, the families come back. They get to visit the children, get to show them what they've done all day. They get to make them a part of that. And then there is a natural transition for them to leave. The women are incredibly strong. They smile, they tell them you're going to do fine, I'll see you, sometimes it's in 3 months, and they leave. And then once all the children leave, they kind of melt and cry, and we've discovered we're kind of done working at that point because we are exhausted by what we have been a part of that day. But we see, this is actually a grandma who had custody of these kiddos. She was raising them before she was incarcerated. That's okay. Anyway, the women get to engage in that process. They have that time together. We are only the second program in the country that has started this. The other one is in New York. There are a handful that are starting right now, and so we are really enjoying being the guides for that and helping them plan and make their programs safe, as well as really respectful of these children. There have been a few naysayers, and our response to that has been that these children, through no fault of their own, are serving a sentence right along with their mothers. And if we can support them, then it benefits the children, and it also benefits the mothers. We've done surveys after every visit. 100% of the women on each visit have said that this impacts their daily choices in the facility because they want to make sure they have the opportunity to come back. This is another one of those ways that we are really trying to think out of the box and give people the opportunity to learn through play. We know it's the best way for everyone to learn is through play at all ages. And so we have a unique place that we can bring families together with their children and really celebrate childhood. So thank you for having me. I would love to answer any questions that you have about our programs or about the Discovery Center. Yes?
Do you still do the autistic on Sunday mornings? Is it once or twice a month?
Yes, we do. Thanks for asking. We do a program called Puzzle Pieces, and that is the second Sunday of every month. Like our other outreach programs, it is completely free of charge. We keep the Discovery Center really quiet on those days. We do not turn on our fluorescent lights. We turn the sound off of the exhibits that can still be used in that way. And it becomes a really beautiful village of families supporting one another. We have a child psychologist who's there. We have a music therapist who comes and provides programming. We also have a therapy dog who's on site. It's always a magical day, and it's a time that we can really meet kids where they are. We have a young man, who hasn't been in a little while, but he will come and he will open and close the door the whole entire time. And that's okay, because that's what he wants to do, and nobody minds because he is in the most of understanding environments.
Question. Is the Discovery Channel, is it not Discovery Center, is it non-profit? Is it government sponsored or state? I mean, can you explain that and how the funding is being provided?
Yes, great question. He asked me how the Discovery Center is funded. We are a nonprofit and we do not receive any public tax dollars. So that's a question I get a lot. Are you city funded, county funded? Neither one. We are privately funded. We cover about 72% of our operational costs with our earned income, and the rest comes from individual donors and corporate sponsors, foundation gifts, and that really is how we do this outreach. People believe in our programs, they believe in these children, and we're able to create these.
We have a 6.5 and an 8.5-year-old, so we've been coming to the facility since they were little, and I have to commend you for taking a facility that was always excellent and really taking it to the next level. There's always something new there, the rotating exhibits. I think the new one's space, and we haven't been to that yet. But as a parent, I just want to mention two things that is also part of the membership. Is you can, I know there's probably a lot of grandparents in the room. You can add your grandparents onto your family membership so that they can take the kids when they're watching them. And then also you can take your membership to other children's museums throughout the country. I mean, we went to St. Louis and saved $60 with our membership. And I never remember the card on me, so I take a picture of it and keep it on my phone. Get in free, or we just like the zoo has a social relationship, but it's a really great perk to have. I know, there was complaints early on about the price, and you really addressed those issues for. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm intrigued with your background and how you have put the full cycle together. Can you tell me a little bit about your background and education?
Sure. Well, I started my career in foster care. When foster care was being privatized in the state of Kansas, that's where I was working with an education in early childhood. I went back and got trained in early childhood special education, and then I was a teacher and the head of the lower school at Topeka Collegiate School. And when I left there, I went back to school. Family systems is what really interests me, and I went to school again for a master's degree in gerontology because that was the age that I had not studied, and so it gave me the opportunity to really look at families across the spectrum. And I actually still teach at Kansas State, teaching classes on human development, so I get to work with college students talking about what that looks like throughout the lifespan.
Dene, just a follow-up. Do you ever have a Parents' Day where we can just go and play there?
We do have some adult nights because it is fun for all ages, for sure.
Dene, I think you've had Leadership Topeka there playing.
We have, yes, we have. We actually were having some work done on our trees one day. We were closed, and I was walking through, and I looked out, and the guys had their helmets on, and they were riding our zip line back and forth. I was like, it's really pretty irresistible. A lot of fun out there. Jason mentioned we do have a space exhibit that we just opened this summer in collaboration with Washburn Tech. It's been really cool. Their fast track welding team had a student-led designer. They built a rocket ship. It is 18 feet across and 12 feet high. Children can climb aboard and slide down. We have a live mission control that is a live feed between the Topeka and Shawnee County Public Library and the Discovery Center. I was in there yesterday, and I was sitting with a child, and there were kids at the library who had astronaut puppets, and they were talking to us. It's really been a lot of fun and a great showcase of our tiny team. There are only 6 full-time staff members at the Discovery Center, and we are open in some capacity 7 days a week, providing outreach at least twice a week in the community or the region.
Do you still have your annual fundraiser?
So we have a gala in September, yes, and that is at the Discovery Center. It's a lot of fun. It's a time to come in. It lets adults play and have a good time, and also let them see where that magic is happening.
Thank you, Dene. Thank you for the great work you're doing in our community. We have a policy or history of donating a book in our speaker's name to Ross Elementary Library, and this is Fly Guy and the Aliens, and we would ask that you would sign the book plate on that. And then we also have a Rotary 4-way test coin. Thank you for exhibiting those values in your daily life and professional career. When you see someone else exhibiting those same values, we encourage you to pass that on and encourage them. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
With that, next week we are at the Capitol Plaza Hotel in the Emerald Ballroom. It's a week to celebrate our year and the great things we've accomplished as a club, and to look back and enjoy the hard work that all of us have put in, and to also look forward and celebrate the great things that are coming. And that will be a fun week, so please make plans to join us. Lastly, there is still a 6 times match for Polio Plus. We haven't pushed Polio Plus much this year. Last year, we raised over $110,000 with the match. And this year we chose to focus on making sure that we qualified as a star club, which we have. We've committed as a club somewhere between $22,000 and $24,000 to RI. So that is going well, but there is still a 6 times match for Polio Plus. So if any of you have a heart for Polio Plus and want to support that effort specifically, we'd encourage you to do that before the end of the Rotary year. So that clock will reset on July 1. So we'd encourage you to get your donations in before the end of the year for that as well. With that, let's say the four-way test and conclude. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And is it fun? Thank you.